All right, look, we all have bad moments. We all have things we wish we could have done or said differently. We all have moments in games when after getting a technical foul, we walk around staring aggressively at a ref, not letting it go even after other players hold you back, and then you get kicked out of a game. We all have that. Well, after Kevin Durant got ejected for an NBA high fourth time 2 nights ago, he said some not nice things about the ref that tossed him. Looking back on it, KD knows he was out of line.
I wasn't getting picked on last night. I was being a diva last night. I kind of just owned up to it. I watched it when I got home. I was like, man, I was wondering why he was coming at me so hard. But then I watched the plays. I was like, yeah, I look like a jerk out there. Just, yeah, it was bad. I mean, luckily we won and we can move past it. And I can kind of own up to it. So I'll be better next time.
Back out here on First Things First, CC, your thoughts?
I'm so glad that Kevin Durant and whoever his alter ego let him out of the cellar, out of the basement, and allowed Kevin Durant, because that's the Kevin Durant that I know. I know the coaches that coached him at Texas. I know the people that knew him at OKC. That's the Kevin Durant that I know. That's why I was so disappointed yesterday. You look like a jerk. Now, he's talking about I acted like a diva and everything. Yeah. It's very acceptable now that you're able to look at yourself and have some perspective.
Yeah.
Man, there's nothing I hate worse than people who don't have perspective, like on their own life. They don't even see like what they're doing and what it does to like their image. Like, you're not that guy, KD. Like, don't be that guy. So for me, it's very, very refreshing because I have made a bunch of mistakes, and a bunch of them publicly. But each of them, I tried to learn from them, and anytime there was an opportunity, I tried to have a genuine apology. And that apology meaning I watched or saw or heard what I did. I realized that's really not who I am or what I want to be, and I'm going to try to get better. My next time, I will react better in that situation. So that was refreshing to see the Kevin Durant that I used to know come from in the basement, tweeting and everything, and giving me a real perspective and good insight. And we don't need to see this. We don't need to see this.
Do you think his behavior will change?
Well, I can just take him on his word. I like listening to interviews. As an athlete, a lot of times I get a lot from the interviews. That right there was a guy who saw himself right after the game. He was like, wow, I see why the ref was coming after me. Man, I was acting like a jerk. Yeah, I expect him to be better. Because he said so.
I hope what he said is genuine, and I hope he does adjust accordingly. Because
obviously you don't believe him.
No.
Or you just believe there's some doubt there, or what?
I have a healthy level of skepticism. Because you mentioning that Kevin Durant from Oklahoma City, it's been a long time since we've seen him. And there have been a lot of exit ramps that he has passed where he could have decided, I'm going to go back to that, and chosen against it. He could have decided after his first, second, or third ejection this year. He could have decided it after the embarrassment about the fake Twitter accounts. There are plenty of times he could have said, man, what am I doing? Now, it is, as Cece would say, it is never the wrong time to do the right thing.
Yes.
So if this is the time, I welcome it. You guys know how much I love the NBA, how much I love basketball, and how important I think it is for the faces of the league to conduct themselves accordingly. It's why I got upset when Steph threw his mouth guard at the ref. It's why I haven't liked how Durant's been carrying himself this year. So I hope this is a moment where he's like, man, I can get back. I can still be just as good at hoop and be back to the guy I was in OKC. I just don't know who the real guy is, though. That's my issue. I don't know what is the genuine Kevin Durant because we now have a lot of data on both sides of it. And my fear is, because Cece, you've talked about that KD's not a natural leader. Great basketball player, great scorer, all these things. But that he is not a guy that's just that natural leader personality. My fear is that he is starting to mimic some of the traits of the leader of the team, Draymond Green. The only two guys in the league with double-digit technicals are Draymond and Kevin Durant. Draymond says last week they should fire every single ref in the league. Durant follows that up this week by saying, this ref's out to get me. So I hope that Durant breaks off from that. Because at least with Draymond, it's genuine. That is who Draymond is. But I don't know what the genuine KD is. So I hope that we don't look back on that interview and say it was, that was just a moment that he said he was going to change where he didn't. Because I would like to enjoy the parts of Kevin Durant that aren't just watching him play hoop, like I said yesterday.
Yes, but like Kevin said, I realize he's human, and I realize all these athletes are human. I realized when LeBron disappeared in the Dallas series, I wasn't going to stop liking him because of that. There have been other guys. Steph, when he threw his mouthpiece, there was things I didn't like. Kobe did things that I didn't like, but I didn't throw them out like they were trash. I look at the behavior. I accept them as human beings. I don't expect athletes to be perfect. So for me, being let down by their overall behavior, that's hard for me to do. I don't necessarily expect that. I expect them to make mistakes, especially when you're living in the public eye. It's hard to be on and be right every day.
There's a difference between making mistakes and bad behavior. I mean, Tiger Woods made a pretty bad mistake, and we all kind of rallied around him to come back. I mean, there are athletes that have made one or two big blunders and have come back. I wonder, though, I mean, there's a pattern of behavior here from Kevin Durant, if this is something that we will actually see, or this is another way for him in the spotlight to do something. Plus, it takes 80% of what our show content is out if all of a sudden he becomes a nice guy. Listen, really, it's about us.
Cece, I agree with you that I'm not going to, it's not like if KD gets one more technical this year and be like, see, he was lying. But we are going to be able to tell if he continues the Golden State version of Kevin Durant, who he's been the last 18 months, or gets back to the Oklahoma City version. And by the way, he can do whatever he wants, but I think it fairly can affect how people view him.
I think that Durant will always be in a lot of people's mind, just like LeBron. When LeBron left Cleveland, there were a lot of people that hated LeBron for no reason.
But did they come back?
When KD left, some of them did, because he went back to Cleveland and won. When KD left, a lot of people don't like KD because he joined Golden State, and that will continue regardless of what KD's behavior is.
All right. Coming up next, Big Ben isn't blaming Mike Tomlin for what happened to the Steelers, but should he? Next on First Things First.
Tomorrow, see the film critics